Yeah, the topic we have today is how do parents maintain their authority? The minute we hear the word authority, what does it resonate with us? Who is an authority? What gives me authority? Is it just that I'm a parent, I'm older, I get the authority? Is it that I'm a senior at my workplace and does that seniority give me authority? Or is it just by age or the power I hold? So these are the questions I want all of us to ponder upon. What is this authority? The minute we take it from blind authority and begin questioning it, it becomes a living thought, versus dead concept. You're a parent, you need to maintain discipline, control your child. That is what we are conditioned. Or if the child is not behaving for whatever reason, you say, what kind of a parent are you? How have you raised your child? That is what we hear from the society. So when we begin deliberating on what is giving me this authority, what is it that is truly going to help my child maintain this position, um, or create an environment for my child so my child can unfold, become what she or he is destined to become. Am I supporting my child in becoming who they are, in their ability to approach me, in my ability to stay grounded even when the child has done a grave mistake? Or that's what my perception. Do I lose my authority when the child will disobey me? This is typically what we see when a child turns 9, 10, 11 years of age and they begin questioning me as to why you put me in this school, why are you shifting me, I do not want to move. Somewhere I feel threatened as an adult because I don't have answers to them. Then I'm exercising my authority, or am I staying in my authority? It's two different things. What we call, especially the child, needs loving authority in their teen years, pre-teen, teen, adolescent years. Now, what is this loving authority? How do I maintain that authority is actually add an adjective to that. Loving authority. That is when I, as a parent, can hold my grounds despite what is happening outside, and child knows it. And it is just not for my child, I would do it for anybody. That is my principle, that is the value I live with. That gives me that authority that is respected by my child. It's you see that happening, when there is an event, somebody who is very well versed in executing, they've done it like hundreds of times, and suddenly they take charge and they say, do like this and like this and like this, and nobody will question them. It's not out of fear. There could be fear also, so look at that as well. But there are instances in your life, people you have met, you do it just because of their authority on the subject, on managing the event. Because we know they have done, they've experienced, they've gone through ironing out all the flaws, or they can manage. They know what comes and they have solution for it. We have been seeing about this person, the IAS officer in Maharashtra, Tukaram Munde. A lot of his reels are surfacing. Not sure if any of you have seen him, But he is that one steadfast officer. He is actually in service for 21 years, but he has been transferred 24 times. Because the day he takes up a job, he's out there to go by the prescribed books, rules, not doing anything on his own arrogantly, implementing what is there for a healthy society. He holds that authority. But people who do wrong things fear him. And people who are actually struggling to implement the right and who have not been able to because of all this mafia that is around me with who was doing the wrong things appreciate him. Similarly, when I hold my authority in a family, children who really want that grounded guidance, and all children want that grounded guidance, look up to me. And children who have gotten strayed, they have been in wrong company, doing something that they're ashamed of, they're guilty of. Suddenly, when the parents takes authority, they become defiant. That is not taking authority in the right sense of the word. It is trying to control, exercising my power. Now you're watching too many reels, so I take away the mobile from you. And we have seen the repercussions of it. Very recently I saw a girl committed suicide because she was asked not to watch reels to the extent she was watching. I mean, it's not that the child is angry with the parent because the parent took away the mobile. No, it is the way my brain is wired up and it's unable to cope without this stimulus. And the child doesn't know what to do. And we have solutions in the society now. A lot of children have done this or threatened to commit suicide, run away, whatever, whatever. And they know parents have been very worried about it. They don't know what else to do. So, somewhere, if I suddenly come in at some point in child's life and try to exercise my authority, it's not going to work. It is something that I build up as my personality. Somewhere I hold the control. Somewhere when I say, yes, we will do it after we have washed the dishes, and you hold on to it, that becomes a habit, a rule that is followed in the family for everybody. It's not that I break it when I have visitors. So question this authority. What is truly this authority? What is that my child is looking for? What is it that my child needs, especially in the present age where there is lot of lone time? We are kind of removed from the safety of the community. One time I remember my brother, he was young, he got angry with my mother for doing something. It was about 9 p.m. He just walked away from home. And he used to always like threaten, I'll just jump into this well or whatever like that. And suddenly it was like we had like one big well and one lake where we lived. So suddenly the whole community, we had about 10 houses in that area we lived. Everyone got on to searching where he had gone. That's the kind of support my mother had. We don't have that anymore. And even if my mother did not build her skills up as an authority or whatever, there was someone else to kind of provide that for the child. But I need to be all of that now. I need to be the parent, I need to be the grandparent, I need to be the siblings, I need to be a friend. It's good. I mean, we needed that. But it's more so now that I have to build it. What is this purpose of parental authority is something we need to ponder upon. That's what we earlier talked about, living thinking. What is it, this authority? Is it that I need? Go find the definition of authority in the book and see if I'm abiding by every word, and go a little deeper. Does this resonate with me? Do I feel comfortable? Especially if you have young children, you got to begin doing it right now. If you have older children, it's never too late. If you haven't done it, somewhere I need to begin it, because children need to see that boundary. Parent loving authority that we cultivate as parents, we define what is that healthy boundary looks like, and children respect it despite being shamed by their peer groups or rejected by their peer groups, because they see something bigger that is built through stories, through conversations. Otherwise, it's difficult. I just cannot come up one time and say, this is what you do just because I'm paying for your fees, I'm letting you stay in my house. That doesn't work anymore. What I need to do is develop myself to an extent where I can help my children manage themselves, govern themselves, regulate themselves. That's what we have all been wanting. We want happy children, but somewhere we are missing it. Is it that loving authority?